Big names, big songs, big guests, big prizes. Well, it's a big show. The Big Show.
Put your hands together for the one and only
Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean.
That's what I'm talking about.
OneFM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
It's Therapy Tuesday right here on The Big Show. We have Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Singapore!
loving the sunshine.
That's the way to start a day.
I know, right?
How are you doing, Jerry?
Bright and sunny. I'm doing great. Yes, and I was saying I was inspired by your plant-based diet, and I decided to try over the weekend.
And what are your thoughts?
It is interesting, very satisfying. I think Element is a little bit more Chinese, so they have Chinese cuisines there. So I was a bit afraid, so I went for the 5 course.
You were a bit afraid of what?
I was a bit of being hungry.
I love the perception. Huh? She's like, they're going to give me 1 grain of rice, 1 leaf of vegetable, and soup.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know. People were always saying, in the past about vegetarian food and everything, and they had all these misconceptions, right? So I walked in there and go, okay, I don't know whether I can do this or not. So 5 course it was.
And were you overly full after that?
Oh no, I was pleasantly surprised. It was nice. It was very satisfying.
When you walk away, you feel very clean, I find.
Yes,
clean.
Exactly. Very clean. I feel happier. Like, I've done something good.
Yeah,
that's because you're not eating any animals and their dead spirits are not in you.
Okay, so Sean tells us that today we're going to be talking about something very, relatable?
Relevant, he said.
Very relevant or very relatable?
And topical.
Same topical,
Okay,
something in the papers, right?
So what I did was I told Sean, which means that Jerry, you have been irrelevant all this time.
No, just
Don't be
Never.
So, okay.
to share a story, yeah.
Jerry is always relevant, okay?
Yes.
Always relevant.
Okay, so you were saying
It's
it's something in the
okay.
papers recently? What was it?
Not recently. I think I was, it's all the cases that are coming up, and I thought I wanted to talk about it. And we read them in the papers. So just now when I talked about, even vegetarian food or plant-based diet, I had the delusion that, I would be hungry. So we are talking about delusions, illusions, and hallucinations.
Oh, you're talking about me.
You are
Which
a mirage.
Which one are you? Are you an illusion?
The whole lot of them.
Yep. But I think I give myself pain today because as I was doing it, I was like, oh my God, my lecturer, my mentor was always trying to tell us the difference between all of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is the difference? So I think I'm going to challenge myself today. So conquering fear today.
Okay.
But we see that in the movies also, like The Sixth Sense. If you know The Sixth Sense, I see dead people, and do we believe him or not? A beautiful mind, what is real and what is not real. So recently, I think I had a couple of cases, but one really stuck out to me because he came into my clinic catatonic. Catatonic means just rigid. And his brother, so he's a big guy, yeah? And probably Sean's like stature. And his brother was carrying him and he was just straight.
Wow.
He was just straight. Yeah. Yeah, and then when we sat him down, it was very difficult because we had to tell him sit and push him. So he came in catatonic. So it was very interesting because when you look at him, he's a picture of just calm, right? There's no expression on his face. But when he came back afterwards, he said he heard all our voices and he was imagining the scenes that were going on. Imagining because his eyes were closed. Yeah.
So he was conscious of what was going on around him, but couldn't react. Is that what it was?
He doesn't know whether he is which is real and which is not. He is awake. So, he should be conscious, but he could not distinguish between what was a delusion and what was hallucination and what was reality.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah. So because I was so floored by that case, I thought, you know what? Let's go all out there today and talk about it.
Right.
Okay.
And I saw the red card like Sean.
We are talking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room right here on 1FM 91.3's Big Show. We are also live on the Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Alice Cooper with Poison on 1FM. Good morning.
Okay, so Dr. Jerry, delusions, illusions, and hallucinations. What is real and what is not for people that are going through things like this?
So let's go with illusions. Let's clear that out of the way. So illusions is when something is real, but your eye perceives it as something else. Okay? So something like what Sean does on the Big Show TV.
Right.
He tricks all of you. So
Like Sean, you're talking about Sean Chua.
Yes.
Okay.
So he does all his little tricks, right? The Trick Eye Museum, when you go in, all those are illusions. So it is there, it is real, but your mind perceives something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just an illusion.
She's like, I don't know that song.
Hey, you don't know that song? Okay, well, one of these days we'll play that song
Let's play that song
for you.
Okay, so that's an
We
illusion.
just get him to sing. Yes. So those are illusions, okay? When we misinterpret something.
Okay.
Okay. Now, delusions are strong beliefs that you have that are not true.
Okay.
So it's in your head and you conjure up these thoughts. So an easiest way to talk about it is morbid jealousy. So if you've heard of morbid jealousy, so people, spouses that believe that the spouse is having an affair, and they're so strong in their belief, they start to see signs that are not there. Yeah. So then you have the spouses, and I had one before, sniffing the shirts, the underwear, checking the underwear. Yeah, because she was so convinced, that her husband was doing something. It could be the other way around also. So the husbands that believe that are a little bit more techie, they put a tracker on the wife's phone, so they spy on them. So really, they spy on them.
So that's not really, but
You should check out this movie by Sofia Coppola. It's on Apple TV right now. It's called On the Rocks. It's something like what you were just talking about. It stars Bill Murray, Rashida Jones, and Marlon Wayans.
I'm writing that down. Sounds
Very
great.
good. Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it a thriller then?
No, it's not. It's exactly what Jerry just mentioned. It's just a wife who's
delusional.
who thinks that the husband is having an affair.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you've got the illusions, which and then you explained, and delusions you explained. So now the hallucinations.
The hallucinations are sensations that are not real. Okay, so sometimes they would say, "Oh, I've got like ants crawling on my skin."
But this is usually drug induced, right?
It can be. It can be. Have you had a sensation before?
Of
Is that
course,
why you-
absolutely. Just last night, after half a bottle of gin.
You were hallucinating?
Yeah.
You thought you were alone, but you
I thought I was in the studio already.
But still at home. FD also will hallucinate that the road is saying it, then he'll walk like the wind is blowing very strong.
That's true. That's true.
Gosh, thank goodness the drinking places are closed at 10:30
Right?
nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, people just start earlier. That's all it is.
Yes, but they get home earlier also,
true.
so
That is true.
it makes it a little bit safer. Yes. Yeah. So it can be any one of our senses, our 5 senses. Yeah. And I think the most common that we hear from the schiz patients would be they hear things, people telling them things.
So that's considered a hallucination? I always thought hallucinations were visual. But you're saying sensation as well.
Yes, so there's auditory hallucination when you hear the words telling us, like voices telling you things, and it is really scary because sometimes the voices say, "Look, there's a window. Go and jump.
no.
Go and jump."
What?
Yeah. Yes. We've heard that before. Yeah, and of course, there's the one that Angel is talking about where they look and they see some things.
Jerry, how do we tell the difference between that audio hallucination and a multiple personality disorder?
Schizophrenia.
So schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder, right? That's a personality disorder. You switch from one personality to another personality, and it's quite apparent. So I had one with a multi-personality, and what I do know is three personalities. So one very quiet one that she has, one very aggressive one, and one is just herself. So I only know of these 3. So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, do these personalities talk to each other within the person? That's what I mean.
Communicate
Or
to
do
each
they
other.
come out as just personalities?
No,
But
like you
can
didn't
they-
watch the movie Split.
Can they communicate?
All 27 of them.
No, I'm being very serious here. Can they talk to like say the actual person? Can
they
the
converse
aggressive
Converse to
person
each other?
Do they have
converse?
an internal conference call?
Yeah, an internal conference call.
A Zoom
essentially.
meeting, right?
There have been various ways that the clients or the patients have told us. So sometimes one is more comfortable with another, and that personality can communicate with each other. Yeah, but how they communicate, I really don't know. But it's different from a hallucination because they actually know all the different personalities, or they completely don't know any personality, and when they switch, they just switch. Yeah.
Okay, so...
You can ask the question when we come back.
Okay, all right, okay.
Kylie Minogue, my little chili putty. Spinning around right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. It's Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Australian chili putty. Good morning, Dr. Jerry.
Morning.
So you're talking today about delusions, illusions, and hallucinations, and you just finished describing what hallucinations are, which can be audio. It can be a sensation. You were saying the 5 senses.
Tactile, yes. Visual. It can be olfactory, smell. You can actually smell things. Yeah, or you can actually have taste.
Okay, so from the 3 different ones that you've described, it seems like delusions is almost easily fixable. I mean, more fixable than illusions and hallucinations.
You can be deluded. So, like some of the schizophrenics, they have delusions of grandeur. I am king, or I am God.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So they can be so deluded into believing that their thoughts are real.
So there can be a combination of the 3 as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And why
So-
do people suffer from delusions, illusions, and hallucinations?
So the different disorders, okay, so you have your depression. So the most common one that we were talking about just now are the schizophrenias. So the schizophrenias, you have all that group of symptoms of delusions and hallucinations. But depression can come with delusions also. So that's why I thought I wanted to talk about it. Because parents sometimes get very scared when their children start saying that they see things. And, they ask me if their child is going crazy. And I go, no. It's part of the depressive symptoms. So one of the girls, and now she is, doing really well. But while she was doing her secondary 4, she was struggling a lot with depression, and from a branded school. Okay, scoring all her A's, hit prefect, but she was very depressed. When she came, she said, Auntie Jerry, I see potatoes jumping in your room.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because, bless you, Angel.
Almost sneezed there.
No worries. Yeah, it was quite interesting because she was staring at me. She was very down. Her movement really slow. And she tells me that she sees things. And she simply just, looks really like, I'm so tired. I just see all these things.
Jerry, for parents who are tuned in right now and who suspect their kids are depressed, right? What do they do?
So they go to a GP if they are really worried to come to us. Okay, go to a GP. Get a referral to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Definitely, you can go directly to a psychiatrist and a psychologist also.
Right. Shouldn't they talk to their kids first? How do they approach, how do they start a conversation about it? Let's say they suspect their kids are depressed. How should they approach it?
So you would have all the signs and symptoms. And if those that do not know the signs and symptoms, go to my YouTube channel and catch up on all our Therapy Tuesdays, because we did talk about depression before, right?
Okay.
And all the signs and symptoms are there. So if they tick off a number of signs and symptoms, sit with the child, by that time they would be really exhausted. They would be really tired about facing this disorder or facing their moods, very frustrated, and they want to do something about it. Yeah, so then the parents sometimes would need to do the needful to help them, to connect them with the professional. Because when you are in that state, sometimes you don't want to do anything at all. You just want to lie down.
Right.
So they literally have to be dragged to my center, not dragged, but brought to the center to then sit there and say, I don't know why I'm here. And then we start the process of the therapy.
Right.
Yes.
We are speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. We'll continue this conversation off air, live on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's George Michael with Faith on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits. Good morning.
I think, Jerry, when it comes to this, especially with young kids also, parents have got to be very wary. I mean, I remember my kids when they were growing up. They all had these little friends they spoke to.
Imaginary friends.
Imaginary friends.
Yeah, I had imaginary friends.
You've got to be able to tell the difference between these imaginary friends and these imaginary situations.
Yeah.
Well, I've never understood this imaginary friend thing because I've never had imaginary friends.
That's
right?
what
I
you
had
think.
imaginary friends.
No, I've never had imaginary friends. Never.
Yeah, I
so
did.
so
I did
I'm
a
just
lot.
so interested to find out from Angel and from FD who have had imaginary friends. Like,
Okay, no. I don't think I had imaginary friends. I had dolls that I, pretended had a character, and they would talk to each other and things like that. So
I think that's okay.
yeah,
That's
I
okay.
wasn't like talking to someone else.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
But I found as a middle child, having an imaginary friend was really comforting to me.
So tell us about your imaginary friend.
What was your imaginary friend's name?
Yeah.
His name was Charles.
Oh, there you go. Charles.
And you know what he looks like and all.
He looked a lot like someone who would be my brother. And we would just carry on conversations.
And you don't have brothers.
I do have a brother.
You do have a brother.
Jerry, is this normal?
And I would just carry on conversations.
It's part of growing up. It's part of growing up. I think that's where you floated into the next fantasy versus fantasy. You know, PH fantasy versus F fantasy.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also known as middle child syndrome.
Well, I don't think it's middle child syndrome. It's just that I found it very, very, very
Right.
comforting to have someone, because you can't. And I was very young, and you have problems in school with bullying and all this, and you don't want to bring it up to your parents, so you just nag to this guy, like.
So did you speak to Charles when you were upset more than anything else?
Usually when I was upset. Yeah,
right?
usually when I was upset, and he was a very calming factor for me, and
Charles.
No, I can see where he's coming
and seriously,
from.
after a while, I just grew out of Charles. He just disappeared.
Because Charles would be the kind of person that didn't speak back, would agree with everything you say, and would just be that listening ear.
You're
you know
Really?
what I
Yeah,
mean?
just a
Right?
listening
And
ear.
And would
How
not
old were
talk
you?
back.
I must have been 8, 9, maybe.
Okay.
Glenn looks
Back
disturbed.
to Jerry. Yeah, exactly.
Jerry's looking at me like, yeah, Jerry, okay.
You need
was
to
it
come to the
okay,
couch.
Jerry?
Why do you need approval from me? You grew up
Yeah,
just
there you go.
fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like a mad kid.
No, so this is why I'm saying,
Man-child.
I'm saying parents need to know the difference between this, right?
Yes, yes. So children have fantasies. PHANTASY.
Oh.
And that is perfectly fine. You know, it is our subconscious and we project that out. And, the key thing here is that you are satisfied. You have something that helps you and it satisfies your needs.
Yeah.
So it is unconscious fantasies, of a child, and that's perfectly fine. Children go through that phase, and we want them to go through that phase. So now I'm a little bit worried about Glenn. I'm not sure if you've gone through that phase.
No, I've not.
He's very unusual.
Glenn's PHANTASY is the supreme leader.
I'm sitting here and I'm wondering why you spell fantasy with PH. At the start.
But Jerry, I just wanted to ask, what if Mark had not outgrown Charles? What if Charles was still somebody that he turned to for a listening ear at this age?
I think that would be a problem, right?
That would be a problem.
So when is the line drawn? You know what I mean? For children, it's okay. Why is it not okay for adults to have imaginary friends that they turn to when they're sad?
I bet you Charles is still there.
I'm sure he
No,
is.
he's not,
It's just
actually.
that not Charles anymore. It's just you. You're
It's
conscious.
just
You're
you.
subconscious when you talk to yourself.
And you ask yourself questions.
Interesting
Yeah, that
point.
is interesting. Yeah.
So
So deep, Sean.
I am lah. Send help and coffee a bit. Oh, Dr. Jerry, can you explain to Glenn again the difference between fantasy and
PH and F.
fantasy?
Yeah.
I think some of our listeners as well.
Yeah, so fantasy with a FANTASY is, that whole conscious dreams, like daydreaming.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's that whole dreaming that may or may not come true.
Okay.
Okay. So fantasy, if you have fantasy as an adult, PH fantasy, it could be detrimental because usually when we deal with them in the room, in the therapy room, it's things like, I know I'm not good, and nothing can help me. And, so what helped FD was Charles, right?
Yeah.
But the adults, sometimes or the teens come in and they have beliefs that they cannot satisfy. That means they have underlying subconscious beliefs that they don't know what to deal with. And what happens, it can cause very dangerous behaviors. So if subconsciously I believe that I'm not good enough, and nothing can make me good enough, I start to feel angry, frustrated, and I start to self-mutilate. I start to
So is that a kind of a delusion as well?
So yes, so the beliefs, yes. So delusions and fantasies, yeah, they are closely tied together. So it's your subconscious, yeah. So the fantasy is something interesting that I thought I wanted to mention, and it's good for just discussing at the table and things like that, right? Yeah, but it is very difficult. That's why I say today's topic, I give myself a crazy night last night trying to draw this distinction between each one of them. But yes, yeah, so there is that subconscious delusion there.
And I suppose one of the most dangerous things you can say to a person who does have delusions, and I've heard this said to people, you're just delusional. That's probably the most dangerous thing you could say to them, right?
It is...
Depending on the situation.
I don't know if they have insight.
Yeah.
Then they would go, oh, it's a delusion, I can snap out of it. But if they have no insight, they will continue to believe whatever that they want to believe.
But Glenn is delusional every day, so what do we do about him? It's quite a difficult. We have a bench if we need to use it.
Okay. And what are we going to do with
her head.
it?
I don't know. Tie him to it. I don't know.
Only Angel knows how she wants to place me on the bench.
I thought you wanted him to do sit-ups or something.
Yeah, he can do that while he sorts his delusions out.
No, I think she just wants me to lie on my tummy and get everybody to spank me. That's
dear, hello.
Because I can't think of any
your delusion.
I can't think of any other way.
That's your
That's
delusion.
not delusion. That's his fantasy.
With an F. You got the
I do fantasize a lot, actually. Yeah. Fantasise.
I was thinking of you when I did that fantasy thing. I was like, oh my gosh.
This is Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the therapies that are conducted for people that have any one of these
So it depends on what disorder that they have, right? So there was a lady with postpartum depression. Yeah, so this one was a very painful one. So I needed to do grief work for her because she delivered a stillborn baby.
Oh no. Okay, I think
Yeah.
we talk about this on air. This is
Okay,
a good
hold
one.
on, Jerry. We're going for a traffic break.
And then we come back on air with that again.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
We've got a lot of delays across the expressways. Do look out for the KJE towards the BKE, a stationary vehicle after the PIE entrance. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean. And today being a Tuesday, it's Therapy Tuesday as well. And we have our special guest, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Once again, good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, Jerry. You're talking about delusions, illusions, and hallucinations. And I asked you earlier, before we came back on air, what are the therapies available for any one of these? I know there's no cookie cutter solution, but what are the therapies that are available?
No one therapy, but it really depends on the different disorders that they present with. So one of the very exciting, not exciting, I treat everything as exciting, but one of the cases that I have was someone with postpartum depression.
Okay.
And I had to do grief work for her. So, we think depression is that CBT, but I had to do grief work for her because she had delivered a stillborn baby.
Oh, dear.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that was very heartbreaking. And one of the depressive symptoms, so she had depression and it came with a auditory hallucination. She could hear baby
Oh
crying.
no.
Yeah, she could hear a baby crying.
Was this her first? Did she have any other children?
No.
No. Okay.
And
wow.
she had to deliver it vaginally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it was very difficult. So for that one, I had to do grief work. I was very privileged to see photos of the baby also. Yeah.
That must have been
And
hard.
it's difficult. I'm getting a little bit choked up here, but to walk with her was quite an honor. So yeah, a lot of grief work for this young mother.
She doing all right now?
That was
Better?
many years ago. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So we had a team of doctors also looking after her.
Jerry, we're getting questions on our Facebook page. We talk about depression and that leading to delusion and illusion and hallucination.
Yes.
Is that the only way it starts? Does it have to start with depression? Are there other triggers?
So chemical imbalance. So you talk about like the schizophrenia. Like schizophrenia has a chemical imbalance. So you would need medication. So that one we don't do without medication. So the doctors or the psychiatrists will come in first and give them medication. And once they're a little bit more stable, we can work with their thought processes. Because if we simply jump in and try and work with their thought processes, they can't even distinguish whether what is real and what is not real. So there's no way I could talk to anyone. So the one that was catatonic, I had to send him off in an ambulance, have him warded, medicated before he came back. And it took quite a while before the medication worked. And only now, so it was a month plus ago, only now that he's able to start to articulate what he remembered on that day. And he was so deluded on that day because his eyes were closed. He thought he was being imprisoned and caught, and he was going to be an experimental object or something like that, because they had to posy belt him because he tried to dash out of the door.
Wow.
So you said it was on that day. So he only suffered that catatonic state on that one day. But what triggered him to go into that state?
So speculation would be high stress. So it could be biological, it could be stress related, it could be trauma related also.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so for this boy, it was, I think he was very stressed with his work. Yeah.
Okay. I have one more question, but we can also ask it on Facebook. And I'll ask you about hypnotherapy versus medication.
Right. But right now, here are the Stone Temple Pilots with Plush on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Good morning.
So, Dr. Jerry, you were talking about chemical imbalances being treated by medication. Can hypnotherapy or any sort of non-medicinal therapy also do the same thing as medicine?
This is a really tricky one. I'm thinking how to answer it politically correct. Okay, because I do hypnotherapy, but I do it for therapy. But we do know that we can hypnotize a person to not feel pain.
Oh.
But
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Julian?
Wow.
She does
Yes,
hypnotherapy.
something about not feel pain.
Hypnotherapy. She does hypnotherapy. I want you to hypnotize me.
To do
Jerry.
what?
Huh?
To
Have
do
you-
what?
Whatever. lah.
Whatever.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
No.
I've never. Have
I
you?
have.
And
I
what
have.
did they make you do?
Well, from what I remember of
Yeah.
it, I walked down steps and how do I put this? I met my demons.
Huh? Hey,
So what
is it
was
that
the
serious or
purpose
not?
of it? Well, the purpose
Jerry.
was for you to face
For
something.
me to actually be able to relax more.
Wow.
How come he met his demons?
So I don't know. I don't know whether this is all in my mind or whether it actually happened.
So what they do is they tap into your subconscious. Yeah. So for parents out there, who want to hypnotize your children to study harder, to be a better athlete,
No.
I really do not recommend
Oh, she
that.
does not recommend that.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah, of
not.
Because what you're doing is to permit your child to be more susceptible,
Yeah.
because we have to access the subconscious. So I do that for patients or clients that are in danger. So for the schiz patient who has already been medicated, stable, but still very anxious, I did it for her. There was another mother a pregnant mother who was vomiting all the time, and she was putting her life in danger and her child's life in danger. That one, I did it for her. That was really interesting because once I did the groundwork in the session itself for a few sessions, I could just call her and do the
And
process
trigger it.
over
Wow.
What? Wait.
So you stopped her from throwing up as
Yes.
much? Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. So wait.
So even puking and all that is a psychological thing.
No, it's not. But I can access that and help her to feel more comfortable, and it can go down.
Wow. So wait,
Mind blown. Mind blown.
couple of steps back that you said about getting your child to study better or harder or whatever it is. Have you had parents that have come to you and asked you?
Many,
Really?
many,
Wow.
Oh my
many,
god.
Yeah.
Parents are the worst.
many.
Parents are the worst. I know.
Julian, you okay? Yeah? I mean, this is quite interesting, right? I mean, just a few minutes.
I want to hypnotize my daughter so that she can be less rebellious.
How old is she though, Julian? How old
Sorry?
is she? How old is she?
She's 2.5.
Dude,
Yes, the naughty twos.
they have a term for that. It's called a terrible
Terrible
twos.
twos.
Yeah, she's driving me up the wall.
Yes, it happens. Yes.
And oh man, I really want to hypnotize her so that she can just be less rebellious. She can, listen to Papa more.
But you
That'll be
know
nice.
what you have to look forward to? Tantrum threes.
Oh man,
Still not over.
Then you guys need to hang out. Yeah, go talk to Angel and to FD.
It's only just begun.
Yeah, I know, 2.5. Oh my gosh, I'm not even there yet.
Okay, back to Jerry.
oh yes.
No, but the terrible twos are not terrible twos, because they are not born to make our life difficult. That's what I always tell parents.
Yeah.
They're finding
Although
that character. Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
learning from the father,
yeah.
actually. They do what they see, man. Hey.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I know.
Oh,
You know
no.
what this is called? My second one, who is also a girl, is about 3.5 months now. When she came out, when she was first born, I told a friend of mine, I said, "Oh, my second daughter just came out," and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, lovely, that's retribution for you, man." And I said, "Oh well."
Yeah, and look at Mark. He has 4 girls.
I did something wrong in my life, man.
Tell me about it, man.
They're all beautiful children. They're all
Yes.
beautiful.
No, but Jerry,
Yeah.
people use hypnosis for many things. I mean, for weight loss as well, for quitting smoking.
Yes. But the thing is, sometimes it also depends on what is the trigger or
Yeah.
what is the source.
Yeah.
Because there have been those that attempt to quit smoking, and we can make it taste like shit.
Oh wow.
Literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally tastes like shit. Like you would not like the taste of it when you put it in your mouth. But if the sauce is not dealt with, after a while, it comes back again. And then you go back, to the hypnotist and they say, hey, it doesn't work. It did work for a period of time, but there's no sustaining power because we did not treat the root cause.
Right.
I see.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
Wow, you can make
Wow.
it taste like shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not
So-
that we know the taste of shit.
Exactly. But yeah.
You know what I mean.
But the horrible thing was I loved chocolate before, but when I was doing the training, the coach did made chocolate look like shit. And it gave me that whole idea that it's going to smell like shit. And for a few years, I did not eat chocolate.
Couldn't unsee it.
That's the power of hypnosis.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the power of hypnosis. It's not something to play with.
No, it's
Yep.
not.
And he was doing it on someone else. But because I was in there looking at it, I also gonna. So I was like, oh my
wow.
God. Yeah, that's why you can do mass hypnosis.
I was going to ask because it was being done on someone else, but you also got affected.
It can
Wow.
be done. So
Oh,
yeah.
this is interesting.
Yeah, I
man.
know, right? Very interesting.
Right,
And,
yeah.
and how instant
It's
is it?
Julian's turn.
He's like, I'm
really
fine
keen.
for
I was
you to
like-
keep talking.
Not yet. He still have 3 minutes. And you have 3 minutes.
You have three minutes.
You have pictures to show also.
Oh, yes. That's
But
right.
you want to ask a question.
Is it-
Is it
Jerry.
instant? I'll answer Glenn.
What, next
Is
week,
it
yeah?
instant?
No.
Is it instant?
Yeah.
It is. It can be quite. It is instant. What am I talking about? It is instant.
Wow.
Okay.
It is quite something.
Okay, I'll visit you one of these days. Okay, Jerry. All right.
Okay.
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 You can
yes,
hypnotize
yes.
me.
I was talking about like fantasies, right?
Yeah.
Dream big. So in the therapy room, we encourage people to dream big, dream as big as you want. So all the therapists, everyone here, the team is told to dream big, including the clients. So remember the Tourette's boy that I was talking about last year?
Yeah.
And how terrible he went through, and we thought we'll never get through. So he's now started Tourette's shoots. He's gonna kill me that I pronounced it wrongly.
Tourette shoots, right.
Yes, because he wants to build a community for the Tourette's, people suffering from Tourette's, and say that you can do and achieve anything if you put your mind to it. And he was the one when I suggested you should brand yourself as a photographer with Tourette's syndrome. And he was like, I don't even want Tourette's. Why do you ask me to do that? So I got a big tongue lashing in the session itself. And then weeks later, suddenly I saw his IG being put up. So
Wow.
on a whim, I said, oh, why don't you do like some photo shoots for Auntie Jerry and my team? So this is what he did.
Oh, wow.
So
These are by Samuel. So his name is Samuel, right?
Samuel, yes, Samuel is his name, and he has done some beautiful shots for us. I'm not sure if I can see.
Yeah, we can
we're,
see
we're
them.
putting,
Yeah.
we're putting them up.
We're
now.
going
people are
through
watching
your
them now.
whole team, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he make us look like we're on the magazine, and he loves just really taking that raw person and just highlighting your personality. So you can see all our personalities in there.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Wow.
Very nicely done.
Lovely,
I would say.
lovely.
Stand by, we're going back on air.
Okay.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
We've got quite a few delays across the expressway. Stationary vehicle on the KJE towards the BKE after the PIE entrance. You're going to have to look out for that. That's going to cause a bit of a problem. Tampines Street 92 near Avenue 1. There's been an accident there. Look out for that. Other than that, just stay within the speed limit. Please make sure you've got everyone buckled up. Drive safely today.
We've been speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Thank you so much, Jerry, for
No
joining us
worries.
today.
I just need to shout out and say
Sure.
happy birthday to Glenn's mommy and to my daddy. His
Oh.
birthday is today. So
Happy birthday.
What's your
Happy
daddy's
birthday.
name?
How King.
How
Ready?
King.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to How King. Happy birthday to you. Yay.
And many more.
And many more. Yay! And I'll end with a quote from Walt Disney. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them.
Ah,
Too true.
absolutely.
Too true.
Thank you, Jerry.
And I'm going to hand the time to Julian. I'm so sorry.
No, it was a very, very interesting session. Very interesting.
Lovely to meet all of you.
Thanks,
and
Jerry.
hope to see all of you in my center soon.
All right.
See
Have
you
a great
soon.
day
See you next
ahead.
week.
Bye,
Bye.
Jerry.
Take care.
All right, now we have Julian Kho, editor of sgCarMart. How's
Yeah.
everything
Hello.
at sgCarMart?
Everything's good. Busy. I'm moving office. Well, at least my department. My department, the video department, as well as the marketing department. We're moving upstairs. So we got another office upstairs because we want to expand.
Okay.
And we just don't have enough seats in the office right now. So we were
Right.
told to move off upstairs. So I said, yeah, sure.
But that's good. That's good. In these times, to be able to expand is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It is good.
Yeah.
I think we should have a party.
We should at least do
Just a few of us.
an office warming party.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Just,
Why
just
not?
the 8 of
Why
us.
not?
Just
Yeah.
the 8
Yeah,
of
yeah.
us.
Just 8 of us.
I'll
Because-
provide
because-
some booze.
It's the same sized office as we have now, but it's just going to be filled with 3 departments. So that's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. And that's here, right? At SPH you're talking about, right?
No. That's in our current office in Ubi.
Oh, in Ubi.
Yeah, we are like the one of the few, or actually one of the only. Actually, it's the only subsidiary who's not an SPH at this point in time.
Right. Ubi,
Yeah.
Ubi. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Julian, for the past 3 weeks, it was all about tires, and I guess
Yes.
this one is also kind of correlated because you're going to be talking about tips for driving in the rain.
Yes, it's all about safety. I think this whole idea came out because, Singapore, as we all know, we only have 2 different weathers, right? It's either hot or it's raining.
Yeah.
And more often than not, when it's really raining, it can really pour. And a lot of people don't understand that it doesn't matter whether you're 4-wheel drive car, you're driving a 4-wheel driven car, 2-wheel, all-wheel, what wheel. If you aquaplane, even if it's a 10-wheel drive, you will still spin. Yes, so safety first, always. It's something that I'll always have to, how should I put it? And encourage, right? No matter what car you're driving, no matter how fast you want to go. This is the thing, right? I always believe that just because you are a fast driver does not mean that you are a reckless driver.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fast does not equate to reckless. So you have to be safe. You have to know what you're doing. And these are some of the tips that I want to share with you guys. That,
Right.
Driving in the rain, first and foremost, please maintain a safe distance between cars. Right? Because when you slow down, a lot of people think that, you know what, I've got rainbow brakes, man, 4-pot, 6-pot, whatever pot. It doesn't matter because you're driving on wet grounds.
Yeah.
Do not take the risk. Your reaction time, your vehicle's reaction time is all much slower when it's raining.
And too many people in Singapore are tailgaters. I don't get why
I
they
know.
drive so close to the car in front of them. It's like
Because you'll
It's a
reach your
bad habit.
destination faster.
correct.
It's a bad
Didn't we
habit.
learn in school it was like a 6-car distance in between or something like that?
Yeah, it's a
No
bad
one
habit.
cares.
No one
No one
cares.
cares.
No one cares.
When they leave the school, everything's just,
Goes out the
return
window.
back. Exactly that.
Okay, time to go off air with Julian Kho, editor of sgCarMart. We're live on the Big Show TV. FD's got my question.
No.
The thing is, sometimes I feel like sometimes we're on the same wavelength all the time. I want to ask you a question, but I have a very strong feeling FD is going to ask you the question that I wanted to ask you as well. We'll see if
Right.
it's true or not. Meantime, here's Adam Lambert with What Do You Want From Me on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
All right.
Okay, Julian,
ahead.
I'm going to bring up aquaplaning again later.
No, I thought you were going to ask something to do with aquaplaning.
No.
Okay.
No. But let's do that
The
to
aquaplaning, tires.
yeah. Let's start with aquaplaning. I still have one question that is it annoys the hell out of me when it rains in Singapore, but I'll get to that in a minute. For the uninitiated, explain aquaplaning. What causes it?
When your tires do not touch the ground, it actually just skids above
The water.
water surfaces. The surface, and that's when you aquaplane. So it doesn't matter how many wheels you have when you aquaplane. It
Your
just goes
wheels
with
are
the
not
flow.
in contact with the road.
What
Your
causes
wheels,
this, though?
your
Yes.
wheels are in contact with
Flooding.
the water.
I don't get
Yep.
this.
Okay,
It's the first time I'm hearing
okay,
about
so
it.
this is the first time Angel is hearing. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me if if this question is relevant. Okay, because
Right.
there are different tires out there.
Yes.
Okay, so I think if you are on wet and dry tires, you know, which is all weather tires, it certainly helps more than if you're on, let's say,
Dry tires.
sports tires.
Right.
You know, that doesn't give you, you know, that kind, the groove that all weather tires have. Am I making any sense?
Yep, pretty much. So imagine yourself being an F1 driver. When it's hot and dry, your tires are usually completely... You actually drive with slick tires.
Right.
So you don't have any grooves, right? But it gets heated very quickly. The hotter it gets, the stickier it becomes. But once it starts raining and the ground gets wet, they will have to swap out tires. Right. Otherwise, they'll just be spinning all around. So the grooves play a part. The grooves try and think of it as the groove swiping away the water in a way, in simple terms, swiping away the water so that your tires actually gets to be on the ground.
Okay.
Rather than just on. And it happens especially when you're going faster.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So that is aquaplaning. Your tire actually is not in contact with the road.
So this happens when your tires are wrong for the weather?
No, not just that. It happens when you're going fast.
Okay.
When you're going too fast and there's too much water on the
So
road.
it's all. So you're literally like levitating.
Yeah, like
Yes.
skidding.
Yep.
You're skidding.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why I wanted Julian to explain it, because that's what's happening. You're literally just skidding along.
Yeah.
Yep. So I saw it
I
with my
felt
own
it a few
eyes.
times.
When I was in Sepang Circuit, there was a Nissan GTR in front of me, and a GTR is all-wheel drive car. He was going really quickly, and I saw him go over a puddle of water, and he just started spinning, and he slammed against the wall. And he was immediately out. And I was like, oh, man, and it's real. Aquaplaning is real. Do
So-
not take it for granted.
So it happens to. Is that the same sort of concept for when they drift as well?
No,
No, it's not the
No,
same.
they'll be
Okay, it's not the
They'll
same.
be
All
different.
right.
They'll be
Okay.
different. I tried doing donuts and drifting in Singapore. Believe me, I look like a moron.
Leave it to the experts.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's an idea.
What?
You know, drifting in wet weather. So, you know,
You'd have even less control.
my
No, I'm not
goodness.
talking about on the roads,
Oh,
lah. I'm
no,
talking
no,
about
safe
drifting
environment.
competitions, right?
Safe
Then you
environment.
burn less rubber.
Save the earth.
But when it comes to aquaplaning, and I'm going to stay with aquaplaning for a minute, your
Yep.
tire pressure plays a role as well, doesn't it?
Yes, so that's why we always say ensure that your tires are pumped correctly. The pressure is all correct. It's not too hot, it's not too soft, so and so forth. That's why they'll always give you a recommended pressure pump. It's by the door. Most of it is by the door, the driver's door. You'll actually see it just by the side. Follow the recommendation.
So it's not on the tire?
No, it's on the inside of you. It's on the door frame.
All the other information is on the tire. Why is your pressure not on the tire as well?
I have
It
no
makes
idea.
sense to be on the tire as well, right?
In all honesty, I may be the car guy, but I'm genuinely not the tire guy.
But you said it's on the inside of the car door.
Yes.
The
Yes.
pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what
The
if you
side.
change tires? Does that change the pressure as well for the tires, or it remains the same?
Well,
Hey, man.
Right? I mean,
I'm
I'm
not the
just
tire
trying
guy.
to think it
no,
would be the
but
ti-
you should be swapping same tire for same type
No,
of tire.
I know,
Yeah.
but people change
Yeah.
their tires. No, I mean,
then it's different. Then you've got to remember what your
What your
tire pressure
pressure
is.
is.
What did what? Yeah.
I think
No,
the
but
pressure
I'm
should
sure
be the same.
I'm sure your car guy will actually
car
give
guy.
you the correct recommendation
Yeah.
as well. You know,
Yeah.
when you make changes to your tires and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, I'm sure they'll be able to find out that there is actually a proper chart. Like when I went to swap my tires, there was actually a proper chart and tell you, okay, this is the car, the model, this is what the tire is what's suited for your car, your model, and so forth. They'll give you the whole deal, especially the tire shop. I mean, they are the professionals. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they are better than I am. So
Yeah.
trust
find a
that.
tire guy.
Unless you go to a lousy tire shop.
Find a good tire guy.
Have you asked him your important question yet?
It's
Yes.
coming. It's coming.
It's coming, but
yeah.
no, there's
The-
no
the
time.
show is going to finish, you know.
Yeah, no. So I'm
It's
going to
over.
ask you this question: where do you stand with blinking yellow lights in heavy rain?
Oh,
Hazard
yeah.
lights?
Oh,
I
okay.
People
think
switch on the
hazard
Hazard
lights
lights.
should never be used because you can't tell. You put on your hazard lights when your car is broken down. So I'm driving down the road. I see hazard lights in heavy rain. I don't know whether that car is moving or not.
But there's no. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's debatable.
Yes, I think it's debatable because sometimes visibility is so
bad. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's justified
The
to use
flashing light, yes.
the
So-
hazard lights.
So, Julian, what's your take on this?
No, I think it's very justified. I have to agree with Glenn. When it's heavy rain, here's a fun fact. When it's raining heavily, wear sunglasses.
oh,
Why?
Yep. When it's raining heavily, put on your sunglasses because it gives you better vision.
No way.
Yeah. When it rains very heavily, water droplets actually causes light reflection from the sun. There is still some form of light, right?
Yeah.
It actually causes sun reflection, so it's all over the place. So when you wear sunglasses, it actually gives you better vision. It's not so bright. You are more confident when you drive. So yeah, but obviously only when it's raining very heavily. Put on sunglasses. It gives you better vision. Back to the topic of whether or not hazard lights should be on. I say yes. You should put on. Hazard lights should be turned on.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
I agree with that. Like when I've driven overseas, and I think here in Singapore they're not quite sure how to use their hazard lights because they use it for everything like reversing, for like parking and stuff like that. But hazard lights are used correctly, like when there is a car that all of a sudden stops in front of you, say on a highway, or
Yes.
slows down. I've seen like in the US and Europe, they put their hazard light on so it tells the people behind them that they're slowing down as well.
Yes.
Or even
Yes.
in very heavy rain. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
it should
The
be
reason why
used
I asked this was I had a friend who got into an accident with this.
because of that.
Hazard lights.
Oh my.
Hazard lights. He thought the guy was moving
okay.
until it was
Right.
too late. It was raining.
Okay.
Until it was too late. Bang, because the guy had stopped.
Yeah, but then your
So-
friend is an idiot, right?
Yeah.
Because if the hazard light's on, you have to assume that the car is
It's slow
stationary.
or
It's
stationary,
very, very
yeah.
slow.
I understand that, and that
know
is
what I mean?
that is you, that's me, that's Angel, that's Sean.
Yeah.
But that's not everybody in Singapore. That's my worry.
No.
So he thought the guy was stationary.
No, he thought the guy was moving because it was heavy rain.
Yeah.
You gotta assume
that's a
that he's
dodo bird
stationary.
right there.
That's
Yes,
the
yes,
other way
yes.
around.
That's tell a friend is a dodo bird.
Are you still friends with this guy?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, but one thing, I can point out an issue though with the hazards. Okay, so when you have your hazards on and you are changing lanes, you've got to be very, very careful.
Yes.
Who does that?
Because no, you have to change lanes sometimes. Like, even in the rain.
Oh, you're talking about when it's raining.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
When
right,
it's
okay,
raining,
okay,
you've got your
okay.
hazards
Yeah,
on.
and then
You're
you're
thinking
changing.
like, okay, everything
yeah.
is fine. If you're in the same lane, it's fine. If you're about to
What
change
do you do?
lanes,
Stop and
even
change
if you indicate, right? As long as you have your hazards on, nobody can tell.
No one
Exactly.
can-
Yeah,
Exactly
so
that.
switch-
You're absolutely
So
right.
switch the
Absolutely right.
hazards off, use your indicator,
Indicator.
and then hazards back on.
Remember that. I mean,
Yeah,
for the
that's-
people who
Very good
use-
point, Glenn.
Yeah,
And also,
very
Very
good
hazard.
point.
if it's raining that heavily and you're using a hazard light, you should be on the left lane. You shouldn't
Yes,
be
that's
overtaking
true.
people, right?
Which is true.
Yeah, that's true.
True also. True
That's
also.
true. Yeah.
No, which is exactly the point. Don't make sudden lane changes, and if you really have to do a lane change,
Do it from
signal.
the right. I've seen people do it from the left. I'm like, what are you doing? Do it from
No,
the right.
but that's the thing. I mean, the joke is in Singapore, your signal stock is almost like an option. You know?
Oh my
It's not even a
God.
standard issue. It's like an option.
Yeah.
People don't even signal, and I
No.
mean, I'm like I said, I'm all for sharing. Just don't be irresponsible. If you want to cut me, if you need to cut me, by all means, if you signal, I'll be more than happy to give way to you. Because what? I'm not going to lose out 15 minutes just because I gave way to you. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen like that, right? So
Yeah.
signal so that I know your intentions. Because if you don't and you just cut me off, then I'll have to jam brake, and the people behind, like Angel was just saying, right? We're all tailgaters. People behind me are just going to come, and I've got my daughter sitting behind. There's a risk I'm not willing to take.
Yeah. Let's all be defensive drivers.
I think that's the best.
Yeah.
That is the best advice. Be a defensive driver.
Yeah, and I think a simplified way to remembering it is remember those clicky things on the side. They're there for a reason. Clicky things. Not an option.
I can tell you this, right? I was in Abu Dhabi for one of drive. I think it was the Audi e-tron. I was in the desert, and I made a turn, and I signaled. And this guy from another publication was just laughing and was like, what the hell are you doing? There's no one. Why are you signaling? And I just looked at him and I said, this is just good habit.
Habits.
Right.
Yeah, of course. course, yes,
practice.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Signaling should be muscle memory.
Yes, and just because there's no one around doesn't mean you can beat that traffic light. So people do that as well in the desert as well.
Exactly.
There you have it.
Thank you so much, Julian, for joining us.
Anytime. Thank you very much for having me.
Is there anything you want to highlight that's on sgCarMart before you go?
Today. Oh, no, actually not. Tomorrow. I'm doing a video today, but tomorrow will be the start of that new video that I was talking about.
Oh, the one that you cannot tell us anything about?
Yes, exactly.
Are you allowed to tell us
So
now?
come on, now are you going to tell us?
I'm
Watch
just,
tomorrow.
Go ahead, tell us. Nobody else is listening.
I'm
No
just
one
gonna
else-
let it out
Yeah,
right
let
now.
it out.
It's regarding food. It's regarding a bit of food. We're gonna take a car out,
Okay.
and we are going to see if the car can help us tapao the food.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about some food. We're gonna drive out to go and tapao some food, and we're gonna see whether the car is suitable. We're gonna tell people whether the food is nice. So we're gonna mix a little bit of lifestyle with automotive and try and merge a little bit of experimental, and we're just gonna see where that lands us. Hopefully, something nice.
I got to tell you, you're going to put this video out. The next day, someone's going to walk into an Audi showroom and go, "Can your car tap out food?"
Well, if it happens, you know that it's
You know
working,
that it
right?
works. Yeah, we're looking forward to that video. So it'll be out on Instagram as well, right? I assume.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
fantastic.
it will be.
Fantastic.
Okay. Thank you so much, Julian, for
Thanks,
joining
guys.
us. Thank you very much.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you
Thank
next
See you
week.
next week.
Yes. Till
Bye-bye.
then. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Julian Kho, editor at sgCarMart. He comes on every Tuesday right after Dr. Geraldine Tan from the
Yep.
therapy room.
And speaking of Instagram, if you have yet to follow us, you must right now because we may just mention your name or we may not. It's called thebigshow.tv.
All right. Please share the video.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.